All right, welcome to James and the Giant Economy. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to talk about just what's been happening in our world for this new year because it's January 6th. We're going to talk about crude oil, natural gas, the stock market in general, the mighty dollar, new development in Canada, and what's happening in the insurance world as well. But first, I hope everyone stayed safe. I know there's been two, we'll call them attacks, one in New Orleans and then one in Vegas, and I think they're all tied to this. But if you have not seen Sarah Adams on the Sean Ryan Show, you've got to watch this. I'm going to show you a little clip, but I encourage everybody to go to Sean Ryan Show, Sarah Adams, or number 149, interview 149, because this is something that you're not going to. This should scare you.
They're not going to raise any alarm bells.
So wait a minute. I just want to clarify. You are 100% certain that there are 1,000 plus Al-Qaeda trained fighters within the United States borders?
Well, Al-Qaeda says they trained and deployed 1,000 for this attack. First off, I think there's more than 1,000 Al-Qaeda members in the United States. But for the Homeland attack, that number is based on what Al-Qaeda is saying, so they could exaggerate it. However, they did have about 1,400 in the Hamas attack, so the number is not off from what they did in the first round of attacks.
Is there any indication of what...
All right, well, I'm going to let you listen to the rest of it, but that should scare you, especially because as it goes on, she talks about the different the redefinitions. I think it's called not Fair Day, but I forget the Middle Eastern name what it was, and I'll summarize it. Basically, that instead of fighting to the death, right, or a suicide bomber type thing, their new definition, these ones that have defined it, is that fighting to the death is not always when your life is taken. It's when all of your enemies' lives are taken, right? And if they're seeing Americans, the average person walking the street, the average person walking down Bourbon Street, when the guy took the truck and ran into all of them, right? If they see them as enemies, they're not going to stop till one side is in the grave. So, lots of scary stuff happening. I hope you guys are safe. I'm going to go lighten it up, and we're going to talk about Canada. Trudeau resigns. So Trudeau is resigning, as are a lot of people before this administration takes place, right? The administration. So we don't know what's going to happen, who's going to step up. We don't know if Canada is going to be the new 51st state, which the majority of Canadians, I've heard, are actually looking forward to that, or up for it. So yeah, I mean, no more tariffs. You can have free trade. You wouldn't have to have a passport to go through any of it type thing. I mean, probably cheaper flights too, but yeah, the price of oil will probably go down a little bit because they've got some good reserves up there. Anyway, speaking of oil, let's go. Crude prices yesterday actually hit 74 for a little bit, right? As you can see up here type thing. Let's go to the month. Yeah, it hits over a little over 74. It pulled back a little bit, like didn't last a little bit, about under $1. It's not a big deal. These things happen, but it is very encouraging. So let's look at the charts. All right, if you remember my last video, we had this little line here because it lined up with the last two, and it said, hey, if it breaks through and keeps going down, it's probably going to go down and test $58 a barrel, right? Well, it went the other way, which I find crude does quite more often than stocks, to be honest with you, right? So it is right at this line. This is the 200-day moving average right here, this white one. And so what that means is anything under it, think of it kind of as a bearish market, right? Anything over it, think of it as a bull market. Now, as you can see through here, these trends don't last a whole lot of time, right, with oil. I mean, because from the, let's see, passed it from the 20th of February and then went back into it, 3 months later type thing. But oil can do that because there's a lot of geopolitical events that happen to it. But if it breaks this, where is it most likely going to go? It's most likely going to come up here and test it. Now, it could take it months to do it, right? But it will most likely head up their commodities. Thing about commodities is they move quite slow when you compare them to the stock market in general, right? However, they are quite a bit more stable over the long run. And typically on commodities, you can make money on trading them, but the better thing to do is make money on owning them, right? Like we do hard oil and gas assets. But so if it flies up here, let me see here. So let me measure this. Let's see here. Roughly, we'll call it 69.50-ish to, so 69, that is a difference of 12. So let's see here. If it breaks that, that'd be 75. That could be a difference of 12 on the opposite side. So it'll probably come up to, let's see here, 12. It'll probably come up and test 82, just right where my line is, 80, 81, $82, right? And from there, if it finds support, it'll pop up to these two lines here, right? So anyway, I'm excited. I did not expect oil to do that. A lot of us thought it was going to be a little more bearish for a little bit before it went up, but like if it passes this line, it might hit this line and form resistance and come back down. But if it passes this line up, it's going to be good for everyone who owns oil and gas hard assets. Speaking of natural gas, let's look at this chart. All right, here we go. Like I said, winter time comes and it starts to fly up, and Trump hasn't even gotten to office yet, and said something about taking off the LNG exports, right? But one of the things you notice on this yellow line, it hits it, pops up, hits it, pops up, hits it, pops up. As they say, the trend is your friend until the end. It has come up to a higher high, which is good. Come down to a higher low. So most likely, it's going to pop up again. And over a course of let's see here, maybe the November 24th to 2 months, probably go up to, I'm just measuring with my eye and my brain real quick. Probably go up to somewhere right around here, give or take a little bit, right? Because it has these measure moves that keep going up, right? So the trend, if we keep kind of drawing it, and it could just keep going, right? So I don't know when it's going to stop, but if you're in it, I would ride it for as long as you can until you want to take some profits type thing. All right, let's go to the mighty dollar. Here we go. As we talked about the fishbowl later, it has actually, dropped down a little bit, but not by much. It'll probably hit that was the 50-day moving average and or the 20-day moving average, and then pop back up. It might hit the 50-day, who knows? But the dollar is strengthening. That means people need dollars, right? People need dollars. So, and which leads me to this warning. So this came out today. The Fed governor, oh man, I am out of it tonight. Anyway, the Fed governor warns the stock market is subject to a large decline. If they're warning you, it will happen. They don't typically warn bad news and then say, oh, we've made a mistake. It typically make a mistake the other way. And what did the market do today? It said, we don't believe you. And it went up by 0.5%. So yeah, so buckle up. I think 2025 is going to be a market for, it's going to be a lot pretty tumultuous. Energy could pop one way or the other. I think energy will go up and it will go down. It just depends which comes first, right? It is primed for a big pop up, but I don't know if it's going to go down first or what is going to happen, right? Because again, this whole thing is a decline, which is quote unquote bullish, right? And it's heading down. It's only going to head down so far before it pops itself up, right? I know Trump wants to drill, baby, drill. And that's great and all, but you can't order multi-million-dollar machines that take years to make and get them the next day on Amazon, right? So there's going to be a lot that's coming. One of the things that people talk to me about or ask me is insurance. What's next for it? I looked for a few articles. Most of them, all of them are extremely boring. So if you want to go looking for them, cool. But I'll tell you what's happening right now. late last year, there was talk of a lot of markets softening, premium stabilizing and everything like that. And what we found is none of that was true yet. So markets are still hardening. In other words, it's getting harder to find coverages. They're getting more expensive, etc. I just saw another one said they're going to pull out of Florida. And so if you are looking to shop for your insurance and you're in the state of Texas or really any other state, let me know. And I can get you connected with myself or another broker that is in our branch that can do tons of companies for you and shop it around. As I say, we're going to make you feel better about your insurance rate. Either you're going to have the best deal or we're going to save money. Right? So anyhow, this is James the Giant Economy. I'm gonna sign off now. I hope you guys are prepping. I hope you guys listen to this, and I hope you guys heed this warning, so that we can basically provide a better future for us and the ones we love. With that, I'll let you go. Have a great night.